fill their nest,
Oh.
and all your others did,
Yep.
would you wait a whole round for that favorite pair? Let's say you only had two perch fees. Let's say you only had two.
I would.
You're super cheap, and so you're only paying for what you're sponsored to do.
Yeah.
Which we do. We got sponsorship this year.
We got some sponsors?
Yeah, we got perch fees. 2 free perch fees.
2 free perch fees from our sponsor?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. I'm going to record selfie style for a minute.
All right.
Like a vlog. So today we're coming up on middle of March.
Yeah.
And
it's gone by fast.
I'm behind getting my birds, having babies pumped out. And then I lost some birds from a cat attack. And I have the problem of winning 2 raffles to one loft.
That's a big problem.
I got perch fees that are paid for. So I need to pick babies to go to these things. But I don't have great babies to pick from. So for me, it's like, which nest would I pick out of? But Todd, you're coming over to help me out.
Change brands.
That was amazing.
I got to change brands.
Did you see that?
No, you didn't.
There's a pumpkin seed came out of Todd's nose. He was coughing so hard.
Exactly.
So, but you brought some babies over. Oh my heck! You brought more than babies. You're tossing birds, aren't you?
Yeah. Let's let these other ones out.
I'm getting chilly. You want to take a crate into the loft and we can dodge the wind for a minute?
All right. Let's let these guys out real fast.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Do that.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the camera.
Is there anyone in here you want to see? Look at this one. I think I brought chocolate. I think this one's related to your bird.
I don't know.
Where's she at?
I feel like looking at old birds is like...
That's a waste of time.
Wishful thinking. They've already been selected.
Feel this one to see if it feels like...
You hold the camera.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's got that chocolate. Or as Dove guys call it, indigo.
Indigo, into something. Little body like yours. I think yours is more apple. I think that's a cock. What do you think?
I think it's a hen. Seems
now
handy.
that I hold it, looks handy, doesn't it? Man, she's got bright eyes. I like those eyes. Zoom in on those eyes.
She's trained.
Yeah, she will.
Beautiful little bird.
Hello, girl.
Come back.
She to get him in the crate.
To
get him in the crate, I throw feed in there. So she's saying, "Let me in there." She wants to come back in.
She'll go with her bros.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
Ooh, dodge the dogs. Good job.
Watch out for the wires.
Yeah.
Put them up there and see if they know where they're going.
Spooked them. They're like, he's been grabbing me all day.
He's been grabbing you all day. Is that a new bird?
This is a baby.
One you just brought over?
So this baby bird has been figuring things out. He's a dud. Okay.
Why is that?
You knew he was a dud when you saw him in the loft. You're like, he fell out of the nest box. I think he's got a little canker trouble, but he'll be okay.
I just seen he had a little patch right here, but it looks like he's been okay.
Yeah, he'll live, but he's not going to thrive. This bird will never show up. So here's an example of what we don't want.
Let's see him. You think we can see him in there?
He's embarrassing. I don't want to show the camera too close.
Oh, we all have that kind.
But
and he's just working through it, man.
So this bird lived through a cat attack.
Oh.
I had a cat in the breeding loft, and
that was not good.
Yeah, I lost my first round, and we'll have to pick names for those roosters. And we'll have to pick a name for our show.
TNT. I was thinking
TNT, Dynamite.
You were talking about tea time, and I had another one. 2T or not 2T. Anyway.
2T or not 2T.
No. So yeah, you had a cat in there, and boy, they didn't.
And this is the only baby left from the first round.
They just didn't pick one and go. They picked them all, didn't they?
Yeah.
That is so sad.
And before the cat came, this bird was already a dud. He'd fallen out of the nest. He'd gotten scalped on the floor by some bully cock.
Yeah,
but now he's the right age where he's learning how to use the trap.
I don't know that I'd give up on him.
Because you're running a charity over at your place.
I am running a charity at my place. He does feel a little.
I'm going to save the food that he would eat and let a good bird eat it.
He's a tumbler, man. He's a roller. He made it with one of your birds that are out here on the wires.
He's a blue check is what he is.
Yeah. Or he could be too fat. But once he gets there, he gets flying.
Yeah, a
he should be
baby's
fine.
supposed to have fat on it.
Yeah.
Like when you say baby that's not fat, you get worried.
That's actually true. That's actually true. You
Like
want
this,
some,
like that dud.
you want
Look how
some meat
thin
on him.
Slim Jim up there.
Slim Jim went through the cat attack, man. He's Houdini.
Yeah, but we're not running a story time with Slim Jim.
Slim Jim.
We're running a who's fast. And look at the bird you brought. He's full. He's got muscle and fat
He's
under
a
him.
good looking bird. That's a good looking bird.
He hasn't missed any meals. He looks great.
Yeah. His brother and sister flew pretty good. I wouldn't say they were breaking any records last year, but I expect good things from them. One of them was in the crate we just let go. I expect good things from them.
I see hawkbait.
I see hawkbait too.
This is something you would want to keep at your place.
That's what I would say. I'd say let's not send him to a one loft. And again, I'd be worried about the white feathers, although we didn't see any ruffling on brother and sister out there on the
that
other.
same line is a tough feather.
I think so. I'm with you. I think that would be a hawkbait. Unfortunately, because he's just going to single them out, right? If the other guy sent a whole lot of blues and checks, he's just going to be singled out while he's up there flying.
Yeah. So when you go into your loft, you're looking at a nest first. You're like, hey, I have some confidence in that pairing.
Yeah.
Their babies did good in years past. I'm excited about that nest. And then what? Maybe you'd look at a hen.
Well, to go back even further, I do like the hen. I would start looking when the babies are little and make sure that like where the belly button is, we don't have any canker there. You talked about our little salad.
Well, if you do have canker, you just take note. That's not bird that's going.
Yeah, I would say, I want the best chance I can get. So I wouldn't.
I've noticed you check belly buttons.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You'll look at a baby and you'll check the belly button. It's like, did the cord fall off? Yeah.
I want to make sure that.
Or do they come out with a cord?
Well, they're connected to the yolk through that same thing. So we'll call it a belly button. I don't know if
it's a belly button.
I think
but I wonder if there's like a umbilical cord that attaches to the yolk or egg.
There is. So I'm looking for that. I'm also looking to see one of the babies. I want a real clean rump. I don't want to see any poop that's stuck on around here or anything. That could just mean he's not a strong pigeon is always going to he's going to evacuate himself over the bowl. He's going to
evacuate.
Well, whatever you want to call it. That's a fancy word for taking.
He's going to launch a BM.
He's going to launch a BM over the top. So I wouldn't mind sending that one. I mean that would be one. A couple white feathers wouldn't scare me too bad.
This one seems strong enough that he could probably fight for his food a little bit.
Yeah,
he's a little on the older side.
I would probably still.
I wouldn't put him in the mail.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I would probably wait another week or two.
I don't think I'd put any birds in the mail. If I had to put them in the mail, it'd mean that they're not in Utah.
Then you wouldn't do it.
Probably.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
We'll miss it out. Maybe later on when we make the big bucks, we'll want to send them. Out to somewhere.
You keep the money.
They come in the mail okay. They don't do too bad. A little one can go a couple days. When he's first out of the nest under the viaduct, he's going to go a couple days without food, a couple days without water.
When he first falls out and his dad doesn't find him?
Trying to figure it all out. Quit sitting on each other. Look at this one. This is the one I banded with one of our race bands. But doggone it.
It looks rough as heck. It's mom and dad picked a place under a perch to nest, huh?
Well, he was fine until we put him in there. He was actually looking really good until we put him in the crate. Now
he's been walked and pooped on that much?
Yeah.
So when you let yourself, like this bird has let itself become the doormat.
Inside of the crate. But he has. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about the birds in the loft, I often like the birds that are claiming and fighting for that top perch. And this is the opposite end of the spectrum. It's letting itself be the doormat.
I would say this is the first time.
You need to get that band. That's a $10 band.
Break that leg off. Get it back. It's the first time it's been handled since I banded it, right? So it's been in the loft with mom and dad. It's fought for its spot. It's under here. It's over there. And then Todd grabs it, throws it in there. The first time it's ever been in a crate, drives it 7 miles, wherever we are, 5 miles apart.
That's all it takes. Now you know.
We got to give it a little bit of credit. But
I love how you put a story behind a bird.
Yeah, trying to say, hey,
let's add some value to it with a story.
We
all love a story.
That's what it's all about.
And that's what tea time is. A little bit of story.
It is. Look at the feathers on that one. This is the reason why I was discouraged.
He's smoky strange.
Yeah, I was discouraged that I put a band race. I didn't know what he was going to be. He's out of a grizzle and a check or a splash. The feathering is really cool, but a
Yeah,
hawk bait, you know,
it
to me,
reminds me of a grizzle, but
come
he's
and
not like hardcore grizzle, is he?
yeah, come and grab me. Now, if this band wins you and I take your money, then that'll be fun.
Well, that'd be the day.
That'll be fun.
My birds will be born a month after this bird. No, no, no. My
And then
birds will be laid a month after this bird.
the way they are at my house, this will be hawk bait, unfortunately. That's a sad fact.
This goofball should be barbecue. I'm gonna let him out
You
though.
gonna let him out?
He's never been in here, so he's like, "What?"
He's like, "What's going on?" Would
What?
you send a red check
What in the rooster pen?
or
No,
a red bar
not on purpose.
if he was out of the best pair you had, or out of something really really good?
Well, that's actually funny you
You're right.
ask. I have a red hen where I love experimenting with her babies,
Mm-hmm.
but I would never send them to the one loft.
Oh, you wouldn't?
But now her nest is ahead of a lot of my, preferred pairings.
Dang.
So I would say she's like a mid-grade pairing.
One of our guys in our loft, man, they just got crapped all over them being inside there.
Well, that's because you're super efficient. You're able to get 75
I-
birds in a crate.
I packed too many in there, didn't I? Our Daniel did really good at that loft that we have close to us here. He has really good red checks, and he wouldn't hesitate to send one. So I want to see no sign of canker. I look in the throat. I'd look in the throat before I
You can
pick the
smell it,
bird.
can't you?
You can see if they have a sweet smell, then you know they got sour something going on.
Yeah.
This is one that's just a single in a loft.
This bird smells really healthy.
Does he?
Yeah.
This one is just a single.
Sometimes you can just tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
His feathers are tiny bit dirtied, but those are old feathers, and that could be his nest mate was messy.
Yeah, mom.
He did a good job, I think.
Mom might have set her next egg right next to him too on that one instead of the owner giving him another.
I hope that's right in frame because that's a really pretty bird.
It is a pretty bird.
Even though it's a red check. I mean, it's a shame. It's a damn shame. But they make blue bars this nice.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And those are the ones that are going to race for
hen
you.
or cock, you think?
This seems a little bit cocky.
Think so?
Yeah.
If it had some flecking in there, even right now, we could almost identify that one.
There is some flecking right there.
Yeah, so you're probably right.
Oh no, that's just feather lice.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
They could have them for sure.
They should have them. They're a bird, aren't
They
they?
better not. This is probably a cock, you think?
I don't stress lice. My birds can carry them just fine.
Yeah.
And those if you
they're so easy to get rid of, so that's why they're just.
If you look closely at what air friction,
one's hanging on
is
there
affected.
to go across.
Like what is it? Air drag.
Yeah, the little lice is hanging on there. What if he gets turned around backwards?
Technically,
he can actually hit.
Technically, air drags less on a rough surface than it does on a perfectly smooth surface. So those feather lice are helping your bird.
Yeah.
Reduce drag.
I don't think so, but I like it. It's a good theory. We should write us a book on that theory.
This bird has a different nose. I wouldn't send this bird.
He's too young.
Because he doesn't look like my family. I would be like, oh, something strange happened. But at Todd's house, this might look like his good stuff.
Yeah.
They might have this higher brow.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my birds don't have that brow.
They're a little bit rollery.
Yeah, they're kind of like watered down, you could say.
You see the checks right there? That's probably it. Is a cock.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that probably is a cock, like you said. I would have guessed hen. So we want one that forms good. That's a cock also. We want one that has real good. You talked about feathers. I'd be looking for birds with real silky, kind of that silky feather. Good warm legs.
For guys that have been doing this for more than 5 or 6 years, they might say, "It sounds like you're describing a healthy bird."
Yeah, you're right.
For the new guy, they don't really know what that looks like, and so it is kind of nice to explain.
Looking for something nice and shiny, and
so you want to make sure it's super healthy.
Let's have some of the black ones. I love these birds.
All right, so I'm making a mental checklist. Hawk bait, not so much. Cocks, maybe hen to be better.
Maybe hen to be better.
And then super healthy babies.
Super healthy. Out of good parents.
Some one loft races will take babies all the way up into June as replacements.
Yeah.
Your bird gets lost. They're like, hey, send me a replacement. We'll do the best we can. And
And
some of those guys, those birds do. Excuse me.
no, there you go.
Some of those birds do
Tea time. Let's have
as
some tea.
good.
Yeah, I think that's when you've got to be careful about the shipping. Is when it gets into that July or that June,
Shipping.
late June.
Yeah, enough with shipping, dude.
It just
Do
gets
you
hot
work
in
for the
there.
post office?
No,
Do you work for the vaccine people?
I'm just telling you. Let's say the guy is
This
in Utah.
guy.
How's he going to get a bird off somewhere? He's going to have to ship that bugger.
Let's fly local, man. Let's
I
support
like it.
local
What
races.
if I'm in Montana and Montana doesn't have any one lofts and I'm going to be sending him to Taylor's house to fly in his futurity for
Or
his.
then talk to the guys in your club and be like, "Hey, what time are you going to send birds down to Evolution, and we'll make a road
Make
trip."
a road trip. I know there are poor guys that are in cities that they don't even have a club. It's the saddest thing ever. So they almost have to ship them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Man, that's my. He's just getting trampled in there, isn't he?
So this guy still has his peach fuzz showing through.
Yeah.
He's on the younger side, but he looks awesome. He's squeaking for mom.
Yeah.
Dad, actually.
Yeah, right now it'd be Dad.
People that don't know, the mom only feeds for the first maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Once she's thinking about the next. That's right.
He said, "I know. I know."
He's like, "Did you say ladies?"
Yeah.
After the first 2 weeks, then she's going to go on new eggs.
Yep.
And then it's Dad's turn to take over.
Yeah.
And he starts getting worn down. He's like, "Okay,
He pumps them.
I'm sitting eggs in the day, and I'm pumping babies the rest of the time."
And they're after. It's funny to see him come after him, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're after him.
He hits the floor, and they're like, "That's Dad!"
Yeah.
And they rush him.
They do rush him. And if luckily if you've got good pairs, you can put a bunch of birds on the ground, and those dads are going to feed everybody. It's not like he's looking for one. It's whoever comes up to him. He's pounding, gonna give him some food, right?
It's when they go in the crate. When they go in the crate, they poop on each other, but when they take a bath, they're like crystal clean again.
It's amazing.
It's wild how it
really
sloughs
is.
right off.
It really is. I hate seeing tails that are busted up. Some other little things I would look for. Let's say I was picking. These birds aren't going to go yet, but these are the ones I'm picking from. Little things like beaks lining up. Sometimes you'll get a bird that's not solid. He's not. He's just not all the way.
Where they're
Up.
like crossed over a
They're
little.
crossed over. A beak's crossed over just a little bit. This one, when you were looking, I thought, oh, he looks okay now that I'm holding him. But when I first saw him, when you were holding him, I thought, oh. Also, one that has a strong beak. You always get after me.
Do you see that ever?
Yeah,
you see those crossed over beaks?
Sometimes you get after me for opening their mouths, but I want to make sure this bottom beak is solid. A lot of times in a bird that's having troubles, that beak is going to be weak. When you hold it and move it, you just it's weak, and we don't want that. If we're looking for the best of the best to send, or the best of the best at our loft, we don't want that.
Is it when you're doing it? Are you kind of feeling for vitality, or is it more of like how he's built, the way it connects to his head and neck?
Yeah.
Or is it how he fights?
No, I'm looking for just those things. Is that beak solid? If that beak is weak, if you could bend that bottom beak, he's not healthy. He's got something going on.
Bend it.
Yeah.
Like no, just
not like that. but
that's what it looks like every time.
When I get what I'll when I hold one, I'll.
So this is a red bird.
I love that bird.
And he looks like he's really well built.
Yeah. A little hen, maybe?
I would say he's weak on the back end, but the way babies grow their feathers, that comes later. They're not going to feel like the big solid thing yet.
Yeah, they're going to get some of that muscle up in here, right?
So you got to give them a break on that one.
Yep. And we know already from doing some anatomy that we're going to have fat layers that come across here and end up right down here on the bottom. So if you
I want to see that in an old bird, in a young bird.
In a young bird, I'm with you. Especially if I'm going to ship him. If I'm going to ship him overnight, and I know we don't ship, but if I was,
we try to avoid it.
If I was going to buy birds from Ad Sherlockins and have him send them to me, I would want a nice, plump, fat youngster that can spend a day or two in a crate without any food and be okay. That's what I would want. Let's see if I can find.
Let's say your favorite pair didn't fill their nest.
Oh.
And all your others did.
Yep.
Would you wait a whole round for that favorite pair? Let's say you only had 2 perch fees. Let's say you only had 2.
I would.
You're super cheap, and so you're only paying for what you're sponsored to do.
Yeah.
Which we do. We got sponsorship this year.
We got some sponsors?
Yeah, we got perch fees. 2 free perch
2
fees.
free perch fees from our sponsor.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I'll probably need your help filling them, but
Well,
we're
you've got some good birds.
we're gonna pick 2 birds and send them,
I like it.
and we'll follow them through the video series.
I think that'd be awesome.
It'll be fun.
I bet he'll let us come up and even video him up there.
Yeah, probably.
That would be way fun.
And so, would you wait the whole round for that favorite pair, or would you say let's get the next best thing that's the right age and can get in the loft? Claim his perch.
Since we know that guy, one of the guys that you're sending him to, a phone call. When you get birds, how soon are you getting them out? I know he's going to keep them for probably 2 weeks, or a week, at least a week and something in quarantine. And if we could get, when do you start road training and then work back? Because even the next round, I mean, I'm flying the next round off of mine. The next round off of mine are flying.
I keep babies September. All the way into May and June.
So I
don't. My June weaned babies don't always race.
Gotcha.
But the May weaned babies do. The hens do. The cocks get a part season.
Gotcha.
They don't go too long. Yeah. I like this bird.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty bird.
Seems like it has a lot of feathers.
A lot of good feathers.
A lot of good feathers.
This one, I think it's this one. It could be that other check. This feels about right. This is off of that one that I always call the 600-mile hen that took third in the nation.
The 600-mile?
Yep.
It got third in the Utah 600.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's not a real race. Inside joke. So this bird looks like a hen. I don't see any fleckings.
Yeah, I would say that's a hen. No, I'd still say it's a hen.
And the nose seems henny.
Mm-hmm. She looks henny to me.
It's too smart.
Yeah, she's pretty vital. She's looking around.
Hens seem smarter. The cockbirds are like, they don't trust anything until they're 2. And they're like, okay, maybe this guy's okay.
Maybe, yeah.
The hens are like, maybe he's all right.
I wish this bird was a lighter check just for color. Not that it matters, but I think that's out of the. I think that's out of that hen and the brother. That's a brother and sister mating. If I'm looking at the band right.
He's not bad. He's not built as well as that red.
No, that red is. She's older too. She's a little older. He's a little younger. His nestmate.
But he's got the right wings.
Yeah.
He's strong. He's well connected.
If it's the bird I'm thinking, I would send that one to a one loft.
He seems short bodied, but I wonder if they grow into that. Or it's a hen.
I don't know.
If it's a hen, it might be the right body.
Could be.
So
I hope it's a hen. Let's just recap real fast. If you were picking for a one loft or picking best baby, what are the quick things you would look for?
Well, I'm in a dilemma because I would start with the best pairing.
I like that. I would too.
Whichever pairing you have the most confidence in. If you are starting with a bunch of birds, I would go with the healthiest.
I like that idea too.
But I might even send a bird that's like healthy enough out of my favorite pairing over a very healthy bird out of an unknown pairing.
Yeah.
I would be excited to fly that at my house.
I got you.
But to put a couple $100 behind in sponsor money seems like you ought to send it with something with confidence.
I like that idea.
So that's what I would start with is the box. Which box is it coming out of? Is it your favorite pairing?
There's a lot of little things like I know we could go into depth, even shape of eggs. You could go into, was it an older hen? How they get there. Some guys will pick. They're looking at that baby as it first comes out. Is it struggling at any time? Is it always full? Does it squeak a lot? When it comes out of the nest and you're about time to wean it at your house, is it crying all the time and chasing other birds for food, or does it figure out food and water quickly? Those are all maybe some indications, and there's so many factors. Those are all indications whether that bird is mentally gonna be able to figure it out faster.
If you were receiving birds, like let's pretend you're a handler or you have a one loft,
like that.
Someone says, "Hey, I think my best stuff isn't going to be ready for like a month or a month and a half. What do you think about taking late birds?"
I would tell him to wait and send me his best stuff.
Yeah.
I would. And I wouldn't care if they're older or younger. If I knew they were your best stuff, when I get them, I'm going to do, they're young birds, I'm going to treat them the best chance they can. You see what I'm saying? If they're older birds, then they might go into a different section. If they're young, I'm going to dip their heads, whatever I got to do to get them where they need to be to give you the best chance. But little things like if a baby is red, he's red, 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 not pinky. That he's got problems. Let's not send him. Keep him for your team and try him out. A baby that is full of he's just got poop all over him. It's stuck on his feet and stuff. It can be the loft, but some of those things are indications of health.
If the rest of the babies are clean.
Yeah, I got a baby that 2 in the nest. One dies of canker. The other one is healthy and good. I might not send him. I might say, oh, I'm going to hold off on him and go to another. If I have those choices. If I don't have choices, then I'm going to send the best stuff I've got the way I go. But there are some factors I can get to that might help me to make sure I've got the healthiest chance there at the loft when I send it to one loft.
Yeah.
Whether those things make a
untested.
difference. Yeah.
I mean, health is probably huge. That might be more important than the box it comes out of.
Yeah. You got
but
it
needs the potential. It needs to be healthy enough to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can hopefully find ways to identify a bird that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
You know.
If we do it early enough.
Failure to thrive.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell that he's just not up to snuff.
Nature takes him out. I mean,
eventually. But if we can do it in the first 2 months.
That's it.
We should cut this short.
Yeah.
Not cut it short, but we should wrap it.
How are we going to do that this time?
Let's do it like we always do. We'll sing. No,
what are we singing?
No, we don't want to sing. Don't scare people.
I like it.
Well, this was tea time.
Yep.
And,
tea time.
It was pigeon edition.
The 2 T's were here for tea time.
Trying to pick babies to send, not in the mail.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks
for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Yeah. Enjoy tea time again.
There you go.
See ya.
Yeah. Click like, click save, click whatever, right? Subscribe.
Here's an example of what we don't want. You can smell it, can't you?
You can see if they have a sweet smell, then you know they got sour. It's one that's just a single in a loft.
This bird smells really healthy. Sometimes you can just tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
Here's an example of what we don't want.